Stop the cap.
You know it's bad when I sigh. Shay Sade, I wish you didn't do it. I love your support of black men, but I wish you didn't do it. And I always feel like this is why my videos end up being so long. Because you gotta make all sorts of type of disclaimers when talking to the black community because we're fucked up as a people. I mean, we are really fucked up as a people. And it's one of the reasons why I have such contempt, and borderline hatred of religion and Christianity and Islam when it comes to black people because, we use it as a coping mechanism to soothe us over, when faced with, the realities of white supremacy and the predicament that white supremacy, has put us in this country because, we essentially have for a very long time been second class citizens, still are second class citizens. It's just, less overt now. But I mean, you can see it with, the economic disparities, housing discrimination, Chase Bank and JP Morgan getting sued, Wells Fargo getting sued, when it comes to housing discrimination, when it comes to, I mean, even just, us with being charged more by putting our money in the bank. And, I've talked about all the things that have affected us, the redlining, the blockbusting, the eminent domain, the urban renewal, the Jim Crow, the adverse possession, COINTELPRO, racial housing covenants, job discrimination, purging of black communities, all these things have affected us. And essentially, when we're talking about men, manhood, patriarchy, all that, black men look weak. Because at the end of the day, we've essentially been taking nothing but L's in the grand scheme of things. Oh, sure. Has there been progress? Yes, there's been progress. And black people fought for the civil rights movement and whatnot. But even, not only was that like kind of half-assed because it stopped just as soon as many of the boomers, got their jobs and economic opportunities, and some people from the silent generation, and nothing has been preserved to be passed on to future black generations, which is why, the black olders have no control over black youth. They have absolutely no control. Young black people will knock old black people over the head. They don't give a fuck. And then you get the people who jump up and they start talking about religion and God and trying to get people to fall in line and behave through religion and control people, that way. But, white supremacy is black people's God. God is not black people's God. White supremacy is black people's God. And black youth know that. So there's a two-part problem, as it pertains to us as black men. There's a problem, with black women and them respecting us. And there's a problem with black youth and them respecting us. Again, I look at some of you olders when I get to talking about the Second Amendment and how at some point you're going to have to fight back and protect yourself and crack somebody over the head and let them know that you are not to be fucked with. Y'all run off in the other direction. You want to talk all that, turn the other cheek bullshit, white Jesus this, white Jesus that. You're soft. You're soft, and everybody knows it. The hardest niggas out in the community are in the streets, and everybody knows it. So I mean, just everything is falling apart. Right? You got no economic opportunities for the young people. They don't eat off of you. They don't survive off of you. Right? Same, as it pertains to black men. Black women are not dependent on you for their survival. They don't come to you for their bread and butter and their economic opportunities. They don't. Okay? So what is this all about? you see the screenshot. Shay Sade posted this post, and it says, let me go find the post. It says, I'm going to flip through my phone. It says, men have always been and will always be God ordained, in capital red letters, leaders of society. God ordained. What does that mean? And what does that matter if you got white supremacy's foot on your neck that prevents you from going out here and acquiring the material wealth that is directly attached to survival, in order for you to, be that? All I see, the reason why, I get so frustrated with posts like this, I mean, every time, like, I'll be ready to smash my computer every time I see black people making God post, because we have so many problems in the black community, and black people always talk about God posts, and they've been talking about God posts since forever. I mean, I'm looking at the Muslims sideways right now with the Palestinians. You got the freaking coward ass Muslims in every other country. They ain't doing shit for the Palestinians, and they ain't gonna do shit for the Palestinians. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, all that bullshit, all the goddamn time. Again, like Book of Eli. I feel like the evil villain in Book of Eli. I'm looking at the Palestinians like, where's your God now? Where's your God now? And as, like I talked about, when it comes to, these religious folks, when they're winning, I'm blessed. When they're losing, it's a test, right? It's never evidence that maybe God prefers and likes the other guy, even though, let all these Abrahamic religions tell it, God plays favorites. It just depends on, when, when and how and where. It's just a bunch of bullshit to me. But we use it as a coping mechanism. And every time we get to the patriarchal conversation, because I'm over there arguing with some people, in the comments section, of her thread. And I know that she didn't think, and this is the whole problem. This is the problem I have with a lot of these platitudes that black people who should know better put the shit out. You have to treat black people like they're either children or like they're retarded when it comes to throwing out these damn platitudes, because they're looking for an exit. They're looking for an easy way out. And when you throw up these platitudes, when you sit there and say, men always been and will always be God ordained leaders of society, every broke nigga out there is like, yeah. I mean, they get so fucking excited. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, wait, hold on now. Because I know, I'm a black man. I know niggas. I know them. And there is countless numbers of black men that grew up, in poverty, that grew up with this mentality. And before black women jump up and be like, yeah, tell them, Pete. No. Because y'all be the main culprits gassing these niggas' heads up with these sort of ideas because you want to control the relationship. You want leverage in the relationship. You want him to stay focused on the magical shit. When I see two religious black people, I already know it's going to be a fucking disaster, because all they're going to do is weaponize scripture towards each other, right? This is how it works, right? So the black man is broke, and the black woman, let's say she got a stable job. She's like a nurse or some shit like that. So the black woman she got the stable job. She usually doesn't look like shit. She's either overweight, doesn't know how to style, her makeup or her hair and everything. Real just ain't nothing going on that you would really want. Okay. And then she goes out here, and it's always typically a fat black woman and a skinny ass black man. I don't know why that is, but it's always a skinny ass black man. And, that's like, he's like underweight. He's so goddamn skinny. And she'll be sitting there talking about Jesus and Jesus this and Jesus that, right? And what she'll say is, basically it doesn't matter that he doesn't make enough money. I only require that a man be a God-fearing Christian, right? And that's it's such a crock of shit, because whenever there's something that she disagrees with, she's going to throw up the immeasurable standard of, well, I'm looking for a God-fearing man. Did you consult the scripture? Did you consult the pastor? Meaning, did you consult another man before you just tried to make this decision? She has the gold. She has the power. She makes the decisions. Okay, and unless she agrees with it, she's gonna find some religious way, she'll be trying to pull up scripture, to say that basically he didn't consult Jesus, so we're not going to move in the direction that you want to move in, and it has nothing to do with Jesus. It has everything to do with the fact that she has the money and she has the resources, and she's going to call things the way that she wants to do it. Okay, and then on the flip side, where you get the dudes, the dudes will go out here and they put themselves in these compromised position, and then when they get emasculated at some later point, right, then they running around talking about, well, she's not the right type of woman, she's not the right type of Christian woman, she ain't a woman of God, because apparently women of God, tolerate, black men's mediocrity and dustiness. And it's always these guys that are overly religious and dusty. And it's not just Christianity, it's Hotep, it's Islam, it's looking at your third eye, it's black Israelite shit. All these niggas are dusty. And they love this type of rhetoric that lets them, go into the metaphysical world or realm and shit like that. It's no different than black women, who like, you tell a chick, keep your weight down, you know what I'm saying? Maintain your femininity. Don't go out here and get pregnant and have a bunch of babies by a bunch of losers, because that's going to depreciate your sexual market value. Okay? But, they don't listen. And the same thing with the dude. Get your money up, get your muscles up, get your shit together. You know what I mean? And no, again, once they get past like a certain point, I don't know when that point is, but once they get past a certain point, they just double down, on the religion, and they're in their little dusty relationships, in their dusty ass neighborhoods, in their dusty ass communities, and this is how they function and how they operate. And when they get pissed off at each other, then they run around and then they'll say, oh, well, this man wasn't a man of God. And then the man will say, oh, well, this woman wasn't a woman of God. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. And this is how a lot of black people in the inner city religiously conduct their relationships. And I mean, we have a shit reputation as a group of men at the collective level as black men, where we're fuck being not respected by black women. We're not respected by other groups of men, especially in the finance, area, in the area of money. And again, I've had these conversations, and I never got a response, but, as it pertains to, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, because he's over there talking to dusty ass BGS with his dusty ass rhetoric about when black women should tolerate what immigrant women tolerate, like as though we haven't been here for fucking, over 300 years. You know what I mean? Like, so you end up with this, and I get what Dr. T. Hassan Johnson is trying to do. Yeah, it is shitty to reduce men down to a dollar sign. It is. But unfortunately, that's the way of the world, and that's not going to change. It's not going to change. I mean, especially when you're out here competing against other men that are already in a position, already can make moves, already making, these sorts of acquisitions. Like I try to tell y'all, I am shoulder to shoulder with Indians on a regular basis. And I watch the shit that they do. Do they got fucked up shit going on in their community? Absolutely. Absolutely they got fucked up shit going on in their community. You know what I mean, I know one guy, he's got one family on one side of the world and another family on another side of the world, and he recently got caught. Okay? They got all type of shit going down, in their culture. But you know what, what is maintained? The resources, the infrastructure, the opportunities. You know what I mean? The kids can go to college, which they want because they're running around chasing prestige, or they cannot go to college, where they go and they just basically work for the family business and take over the family business. They're running enterprises over there. They can have 6, 7 children, have 2 of them go to college, and then the rest of them, are basically running aspects, of the business, depending on, who has what talents. But they're always going to have a mix and match of those that are in business and those that go to school and those that go to college. They're always going to have that. But yet with black people, I mean, it makes no sense. Niggas in the streets, they want to talk about their jewelry, their diamonds, their rims, their cars, their sneakers. They iced out this, iced out that. You know what I mean? That's all niggas that were broke 5 years before they got a record deal. That all they want to talk about is money and material wealth. But then when you meet a nigga before before he blows up, or a regular nigga that has the same mentality as a rapper that then blows up, but he doesn't have the ability to rap, so he just basically, he doesn't have an out. So he's the same dude that like Meek Mills was, with the nappy braids and shit like that. He's the same dude. He's Meek Mills. He's the same dude. Okay? But because he doesn't have a path out, he doesn't have a proper support system. College is pretty much off the table because of all the upfront money. He just got to go out there and work, doesn't have any skills. And so he's going to end up working one of these crummy ass jobs. And that's going to be how he functions. That's going to be, his life. Because as black men, we don't like fight, for better. We don't have these sorts of conversations. We don't create a cutoff for ourselves. We try to convince ourselves that we can go out here and be unemployed or underemployed. And dudes try to come in the comment section and try to play semantics. Who said anything about being broke? No, I know what y'all niggas are on. You know what I mean? Y'all, again, it's always this, I get to lead despite not being ahead of the woman. I should get to lead, and they're quick to try to grab some holy book in order to try to justify it. You know what I mean? First off, right, if she's ahead of you, where are you leading her? What makes you think that you're qualified to lead her anywhere when she's already achieved what you were unable to achieve? I'm not going to say that you're incapable of achieving it, but you haven't achieved it. What qualifies you to be able to lead her in any direction? Explain that to me. How does that work? Then you get the dudes that think they're going to run shit on a bitch's dime. How the fuck does that work? How are you going to run shit? All she has to do, okay, you say, okay, we're going to do this. All she has to do is pull her resources out of the project, and that's the end of the project. How are you leading her on her dime? How does that work? Explain it to me. We have black men that literally think that this type of shit is cool. Like this is how we do things, because it says in the Bible, it says in this holy book that I get to lead. I should be able to lead. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, sorry, brother, you have to qualify to lead. You do need to be ahead of her in order for her to respect you and your decisions, because you've already done it. You've already achieved it. I don't care whether that means that you're older and you get with a younger woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, if that means, that you got to work double time or whatever the hell it is, so that you can be ahead. And I'm saying these are the women that you should date so that you can be in that position. And we need more black men to be in that position so that you, again, the fundamental unit of a community is the household. And so in order to have a patriarchal community, you need to have a majority of households where the men are ahead of the women. That's what you need. And again, not just being employees, because if we live in a society where women can go out there and they can be employees. So if you're out there and you're just an employee and all we have is employees in the community, you damn right the women are going to start looking at you like, well, why do I need to follow him? He's doing what I'm doing. Because you're not far enough ahead. Where when you go into the white community, when you go into the Indian community, when you go into the Asian community, these men have businesses. They have enterprises. Okay? You think a white woman is walking around looking at Black Rock thinking that she can compete with that when you have a freaking white dominated and controlled company that controls the majority of the assets on planet Earth? You think she's sitting there saying to herself, "Oh, I don't need to follow these men," right? We know, yes, you're going to have your feminists and your extreme women, but just like when I talk about, positive promotion and negative promotion, like I had somebody who was talking about, oh, well, white women, they're getting smutted out in porn and the reputation doesn't stick to them. I'm like, of course it doesn't, because white Hollywood has created enough alternative avenues and alternative forms of representation to offset the negative promotion. See, when you don't have anything to offset the negative promotion, your promotion is negative. That's all people see is the negative. You see? And on the flip side, reading through the comments, I got women over there. They're again these divine female principal women. I'm like that white dude that was interviewing that I don't know what she was. She looked Hispanic or something like that. And he just said it the way it needs to be said. Point blank, period. Okay? Women don't have any rights because their rights can only be enforced by men. This goes back to my statement about so the fuck what? You know what I mean? Or if somebody's attitude is, you say, okay, these are the rules. This is what everybody in the society should agree to. And what if you have an asshole that says, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to violate people. I'm going to murder, kill, rape, pillage, whatever. Who's going to stop them? A bunch of women? No. A bunch of women are going to have to go and seek out a bunch of men to resolve that issue. Women are not going to go out there and get a posse of women and go out there and handle a man or a group of men that are doing rogue shit. It's just not going to happen. So women can talk all the shit they want, intellectual this, intellectual that. Oh, I have a brain. Again, might makes right. As we can see with Hamas getting and the Palestinians getting pummeled right now with all of the weapons that Israel has. Might makes right. It don't matter what your God says. It doesn't matter what the moral compass is. If I got the bigger guns, if I got the bigger weapons, and I'm willing to use them, okay, you don't have any authority here. And that's one of the things that women really have a problem with. What in the West, all the freedoms that women have are freedoms that white men have afforded them. Okay? And the same thing goes for black people. If white people in America wanted to wipe African Americans off the map, they could. We could put up a fight, but we don't. What weapons do we manufacture? Right? I mean, what food? I mean, all they got to do is just make a big ass barricade around all the supermarkets in America, and niggas would starve. We don't even have farmland like that to grow our own goddamn crops. We would be reduced to stealing and thievery and having midnight raids and shit like that. You know what I mean? We're not equipped to challenge the system in open warfare. We're not equipped. They got us by the balls. And again, y'all can talk about all the Yahweh, Hotep, Jesus, Allah, all you want. You can talk about the sweet twinkle of Christ all you want, and all this righteousness and justice that you want to talk about when it comes to the universe. At the end of the day, they have the power, which is why, we deal with a lot of the disrespect and bad attitudes that we deal with when it comes from black women, because they know where they get their their bread buttered. They know where they get their bread buttered. It ain't from us. So, it's like y'all gotta be realistic about this shit and get your fucking head out of the ass of white Jesus or whatever other magical invisible sky daddy deity that you want to worship. Okay? We live in the here and the now. We live in the flesh and the bone. We live in this reality. If you don't want to be fucked with as a group, you need to have the power to not be fucked with. Women do not have that power. I don't care how much they want to talk about divine female principles. All of the feminism that you see in the West is predicated on what has been allowed. What has been allowed. What these women get from white zaddy. That is what is going on. It's not because, as Captain Solo said a long time ago, matriarchies, come to power as a result of failed male leadership. They do not come to power as a result of winning in battles and winning in conflict and coming over the horizon, like that movie 300 on the horse in slow motion, holding the fucking Aladdin sword, with the heads of kings and shit like that. That is not what the fuck women do. And even women are delusional about that fact. Not to mention, women cannot fix what they break. They can't fix what they break. Going back to my analogy about the women burning down, playing with matches and burning down a log cabin that men just got finished building. You can throw her in jail. You can throw her in debtor's prison, because that's essentially what you're doing. Throw her in jail, flog her, burn her at the stake. At the end of the day, you still out of a log cabin. She doesn't have the skills nor the capability to build you a log cabin. And if you want to teach her how to build a log cabin and all of her girlfriends, you're going to spend just as much effort trying to teach her how to do what men do in order to freaking do that. You know what I mean? Like it's going to take her, it's going to take, like, if it takes freaking, 4 men to move a log, it might take 8 women to move a log. So it's like you might as well just, freaking build it yourself and then put rules in place to make sure that they can't fuck it up. Because if they do fuck it up, they're not going to fix it. These are the realities of the world. I don't know why both genders want to ignore these realities. The women want to argue they want their freedom. Yes, we live in a society now where women don't have to negotiate their survival with men. They can go to a job, they can get paid lots of money, and they can do essentially what they want to do. They don't have to follow a man. They don't have to, let him lead them and everything. But here's a question I have to the men. Why is it so important for you to lead? If it's not important for you to be ahead of the woman, why is it so important for you to lead? Why do you need to lead? Where are you leading her? I mean, what is it? Is this just ego? And the other thing is, which one of you all are ready to sacrifice your daughters? For those of you who have daughters, which one of you would tolerate one of these snot-nosed, freaking, 18-year-olds coming in your house talking about he leading your daughter, and your daughter got more education than he got because you sent her to school or you invested in her in some way that this young man's family obviously didn't, or maybe he's just on some bullshit. You know what I mean? And she up there jumping up and down, listening to him, and she got more going on than he does. Which one of you all are going to sacrifice your daughters and say, well, he's a man and he got a penis, and so you need to listen to him, even though you recognize that your daughter is more equipped as an adult than he is? Which one of you all are going to sacrifice your daughters, for the male ego? fuck out of here. You know, again, it's not that that I disagree with the tenets of patriarchy, but I recognize that patriarchy it's a standard that has a qualifier in order to play that role. And again, if basically we as black men we can't play that role, well then I suggest we just shut the fuck up and deal with the consequences, right? And even when it comes to the women, it's like if all of you want to say matriarchy is the way that it is, matriarchy all the way, divine female principles, and all that other stuff, understand that men are fully within their rights to not deal with you, even if they're not in the position. They say, hey, chick, I'm not in a position, but I'm not going to subject myself to the fucking matriarch because I already know what women are incapable of doing and how, again, the feminists and the matriarchy want to assign men all these responsibilities and assign men the blame despite the fact that women are running around saying they can do anything a man can do. It's like, nah, we're not playing that game. I'm going to stay, if I'm Dusty, I'm going to stay as far the fuck away from you as possible. And that's what it's going to be. So for the dudes that want to be on some Dusty shit, I'm like, you need to walk. You have no reason to stand here with your chest out talking about I have a penis and therefore I should be able to lead. It does not work like that. And I hate the fact that every so often I have to continuously have these conversations with black men that I've been having with black men since I came on this motherfucker, because there's too many black men that insist on trying to use the spookyism of religion and God to try to justify their leadership when they don't qualify for it. You don't qualify for it. I'm not saying that as a generalized statement to all the black men. I'm saying that to these dudes that I know are on some Dusty shit because they get way too excited. It's like they get it like it's like Fox News to white people. It's like catnip and shit. And when you get these Dusty dudes, and you start talking about a man gets to lead because the Bible says so, all these motherfuckers, they're like a cat with catnip. They get so giddy and shit like that. And again, I've been around the block too many times to not know that, this is what black men are on. I've been around the block way too many times. Every time, and it's especially you black men from the inner city. You guys are horrible with the shit. The niggas that grew up in the burbs or rub shoulders with other groups of men, they know. And they feel some type of way, being in those environments, in those spaces, because they see those men making moves. They see how those women interact with those men. They know that it's about the money. They see how those men are living, then the cars that they got, and the properties that they have, and the moves that they can make, and the vacations and the trips and the lifestyle that they're living. They see that shit. And if they're smart and they don't got it like that, they know to keep quiet until they get it. But there's a whole segment of black men, and I don't know what to tell these men. Because again, we live in this capitalist society that class is stratified, and we have all these conversations about the man, you got the 80-20 rule and all this stuff going on, but the fact of the matter is the way that even the sexual markets, the concept is to date at your level. Okay. But y'all are running around talking about how effective, all this equality is, all this, role reversal is. And all I got to say is, I direct you to the conditions of a black community nearest you. You all can't even control your own sons and your own grandsons and the little niggas running around out here fucking carjacking. So where do you get off on this, our leadership? Your leadership of what? Of poverty? Your leadership of what? Of all the crime that exists in the community that goes unsolved and undealt with? I mean, it's insane. And again, I've had so many conversations, with these guys. I got a video that I didn't even post it, of a guy, man, I damn near blew a gasket. I mean, this guy he was just adamant about his dustiness. He was like, you just want to control women. I was like, it is about control. It's about controlling not just women, controlling the environment, controlling your controlling your ability to prevent other people from coming in and fucking up your shit or taking over. I don't understand niggas when it comes to this shit, right? Niggas always want to talk about this G code, street code, all this shit. Niggas, my block, blah, 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 blah. I got these guns, I got this, I got that, blah, blah. Y'all talking all that shit. But then when it comes to actually controlling the fucking landscape of the community so that all these other groups don't just come in and vacuum money out, y'all all of a sudden now niggas want to sit there and say, it sounds to me like you just want to control shit. Huh? All that gangster shit you were just talking 5 minutes ago? You know what I'm saying? Oh, nigga, my block, nigga, brat, all this other shit. And George Zimmerman still walking around? Like y'all talk out of both sides of your face when it comes to this shit. And again, it's like all these niggas in the street. Or maybe I'm wrong. They're just claiming street credibility, but they're not really in the streets. They're just guys that, don't have any real skills, didn't go to school, didn't go to trade school, didn't go to college. They just kind of exist. They work these like rinky-dink at-will employee type of jobs, and they're not trying to improve. They're not trying to do better. And what frustrates me is, see, we're way past the critical mass. Like, we're way past a critical mass. Like, in other words, if it was just a handful of dudes, I wouldn't really be saying anything. We'd all just sit around, and be like, those are those guys that are doing the thing. Hey, they get up every day, they work hard, you leave them alone, right? That's what we would say. But unfortunately, due to the system of white supremacy, and many of us, we have dropped anchor in the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, white supremacy, like, relegated us to this shit. Like, this is your spot. You all are going to be at the bottom in perpetuity. And yet, we're at the bottom. And yet, motherfuckers are, like, setting up, like, they're not even setting up shop. They're just getting comfortable and pulling out lawn chairs and dropping anchor in the bullshit. I'm like, what are you doing dropping anchor? We're in bullshit. Why don't we try to row our ass the fuck out of it? Nope, not niggas. No, they're gonna sit there and talk, go out there, get with the trash version of Big Booty Keisha, where it's like she got like a little bit of a butt or like one of these like ginormous sloppy butts, and then she got like a stomach and shit like that. Like, it ain't nothing that you will motherfucking want. But that's these motherfuckers level. And then they'll sit there and they'll act like, this is what's popping. But what frustrates me about the whole thing, here they are reinforcing matriarchy, right? The black women's mind is already fucked up. They already believe in a whole bunch of dumbass retarded shit. And then here these dudes are fucking operating in it. And I'm saying the woman's just as guilty as the dude, right? Because she can't do the shit that she's trying to do with a dude that's ahead of her, which is why she doesn't deal with those niggas. And then when questioned about why she doesn't deal with those niggas, she gonna jump up and say, colorism. They don't want me because they self-hate. They want white women. That's what she's gonna say, completely ignoring how uncooperative she is. Because a lot of black women have problems with control. They have a problem with, the patriarchy. They have a problem with, submission. And I don't know like exactly where that comes from. Cause like I said, it can be one or the other. If black women were to say, black women don't trust black male leadership because y'all niggas failed, I could accept that, right? But when they go run off and then they say, black women, should be running shit because in ancient Africa, I'm like, wait. If you think that this is the way that it's supposed to be, and you're trying to pull on some Afrocentric ideas of history that you don't even know about. You just listen to some fucking, like that. Who's that chick that does all the singing on Instagram? The light skinned chick with the fucking, she looking like T Noir. She puts her makeup on like she's the last airbender and shit. You know who I'm talking about. The one that had that song and shit, the acapella shit, and the white boy tried to steal it and then people gave her credit. You know who I'm talking about. I don't even know her name. Okay? But that chick, you know what I mean? Y'all be running around thinking like, yeah, in Africa, that's what it was. Divine female principles. Black women were leading black men into battle on riding a cheetah. This is what y'all think. But again, if I can go with the black women are the way that they are because black men failed and the community is broke. That makes sense to me. But when y'all go into, dark earth mother goddess, Hoteptress high priestess, and black men need to worship the divine female principle. No, that bitch, you just want to run shit. You're as magical as these dudes that are trying to pull on Christianity, or Islam or any other religion to try to justify, them running shit. And don't get it twisted. It's not that I disagree with the Abrahamic religions and men leading, but I disagree with the idea that it's simply because God said so. And I'm saying real talk. If you even if you read the Bible, I forget what verse it was, but it says right in there that the man is supposed to have the resources. But y'all niggas gloss right over that shit. I posted on the community tab, some time ago. For somebody who's better read at the Bible than I. He's like, no, it says it right in here. I'm like, see, like y'all niggas just gloss right over that shit. Just completely gloss over it. So again, and that's how you know that this shit is like, it's dusty nigga shit. Because if it says it in the book that you're supposed to provide and have your shit together and have resources, you know what I mean? Then that's what the standard is. But y'all will quickly make it about, I'm a man, me strong man dick, and I have a penis, and therefore I should be running things because, I said so. And I'm like, that so doesn't work, especially in a society where, again, women don't have to negotiate with you for their survival. They can make their own money and make their own decisions and do and operate, with what they want. My only frustration with women is where women try to come through and have their cake and eat it too, where they want to have the power of men and the privileges of women simultaneously. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to happen, chick. Again, captains recognize other captains. I salute you, as my aircraft carrier passes yours, but I am not getting on your ship. No. No, again, there's levels to the shit. Men should be getting with women that they're ahead of so that the woman can respect them. It's female nature. Women cannot love men that they don't respect. It's a way of life. I know that we don't have, like we can't scientifically define that, but I'm saying we all see it. You see it all over the web. You see it in your interactions. There's a reason why we all came together in this space, because the messages resonate with us. Because we recognize women are different. Women are this way. Why the fuck are you trying to fight that? That's about as silly as a woman who thinks that she can take a man on toe to toe. It's like, look, why are you trying to fight against that? I don't care how kick-ass of a martial artist you may be. You are not going to be able to take on a man that even has half the skill as you do. Why do you think martial arts, even between men, have goddamn weight classes? You don't see fucking Lennox Lewis fighting Floyd Mayweather. Why not? Why not? They're both men. Why not? You know what I mean? Fucking Floyd Mayweather is what, 5'8", and freaking Lennox Lewis is what, 6'5", 6'4", right? Weighs freaking, an additional 100 pounds more than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, he's a fantastic fighter, but I promise you, it wouldn't go down like you think if it was a bar fight and motherfuckers grabbed onto him and did a whole bunch of stuff that is illegal to do and you can't do when you got mitts on in the motherfucking ring. Somebody, 280 pounds grabs Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is done. He's done. The weight behind his punches versus the weight of the guy that's 280 pounds is not the same. I remember there was that clip of that rugby football player. I don't know if you've seen it. It was a rugby football player. He tried to hit this dude, and this dude looked at him like like like, are you mad? He looked at him like, I'm the juggernaut, bitch. You know what I mean? He just grabbed him, and the guy started like flailing and shit, and he just held him. He literally just held him. And it was like, yeah, that's, size matters. Hence why women are even attracted to men that are bigger and stronger and taller and everything else. Size fucking matters. If it didn't matter, then it wouldn't be a part of the, female nature and their desire for, oh, he must be over 6 foot. There's a reason for that. And evolutionarily, human beings in the future will be taller and taller and taller. Until it gets to a point where it's just goofy. I think there's like an upper limit to it. I think the upper limit actually is like 6'2" or 6'3". Above that, then things, women will say, oh, I want a man that's 6'5", but above that, you start getting into like goofy territory. You start getting into knee problems. You start getting into size 17 shoes. You start getting into can't fit into cars, can't get on airplanes, can't get on trains. The dick and the pussy don't even line up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start getting into some real awkward shit, when you have that sort of height discrepancy. Women typically just want a man that's taller than them in heels. That's what they want. You can do that, you're winning. But same thing. If I was 5'11", I ain't got no business dating a chick that's 6'2". I have no business dating a chick like that. So a lot of you guys, like, y'all just, you don't want to accept this reality. And it is reality. And I already know the comments are going to be filled with all these religious dudes. They're going to come in here. They're going to start whining and bitching. Look, they can't even hold back. They're already typing as I speak. Okay, they're going crazy. No, the Bible says, and no, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they're just in Corinthians and Matthew and Leviticus. They're going crazy right now. Right now, the keyboard warriors are out in my comment section, hurt because of what I'm saying. But it's the truth. How are you going to compete against other races of men in the economic marketplace if you can't even surpass your own woman at the collective level, to where it's known? Like, the women just look at black men and like, yeah, we can't fuck with that. They out here doing the most. We can't fuck with that. I'm not even trying. Let me go over here and pop out some more kids and take care of some kids. And even if the woman has a career, again, she's like, yeah, I can't compete with the level that they're on. I can't compete with that. But instead, and it was so crazy, is we have like this mental reversal in the community. Why is it, tell me black men, why is it when it comes to black women, they're always talking about kicking ass, you go girl, boss bae, killing it, right? Get your education, girl, degrees, all this other shit, right? Even though we know that they hold the most, some of the most egregious debt. But I'm just saying, right? I'm just talking about the mentality, right? Is it because women get a greater support system? I would second that. But I'm saying they go out here and they have this mentality of kicking ass. But whenever I talk to black men, especially in these online spaces, niggas is always talking some dusty shit. Always talking, about how they don't have to max out. How they don't have to go out here and get to the next level. How they don't have to strive and push further. How they're good where they are. Right? I don't hear, and maybe it has to do with the loudest black women, like the squeaky wheel gets the oil, type of thing. I don't know. All I know is when it comes to black women, they're always talking about excellence, degrees, education. Even if I can sit here and argue that a lot of them, they go out here and they focus on bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I went to Harvard and I have a degree in African American studies. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you going to do with that? You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, they still have it in their mind that they're trying to be, they're trying to shake off the dustiness and the negativity that is associated with the black race. They're trying to shake that shit off, by ironically putting themselves in copious amounts of debt. But I have to respect the fact that they're out there and they're actually trying to fucking strive for greatness. And I'm not saying that you don't have any black men that are out here striving, for greatness. Again, there's a lot of black men out here, that are. But there's this subpopulation of black men that just, I mean, it's like every time y'all come, I wish we would just drop religion. I so wish that, because it's so harmful in our hands. It's harmful. I could see if we were like balling out of control, if we were like Jewish people and we controlled the banks and we were like the Rothschilds and we had the second largest military in the world and we control Hollywood and we controlled the news, and anytime somebody says something about us, we got them canceled and we caused them to lose, $2 billion overnight. You know what I mean? Like, that would be some shit. And then we can sit there and say, we are God's chosen people. Yeah, if we were talking like that, and we were in that type of position, you wouldn't hear me say shit. But y'all niggas want to sit around and our shit is all fucked up, and you want to talk about God and how God is the answer to all things. It's sad. It's like, it's really sad just looking at it, because it shows how, affected our minds are, where we don't like reality. I understand, like, the reality that we exist in is fucked up. But we don't like reality to the point that we would rather be in a dream state. We would rather live in fantasy. Perhaps it's just a coping mechanism, a way to save our brains from mental anguish. But reality is reality. That is what you have to deal with. And many of y'all don't want to deal with that. And I don't know where it comes from. Don't get it twisted. A lot of black women, they be on the same shit. And it's part of the reason why I look at them with a side eye, because, again, with black children, majority of which are being raised by single black mothers, they're the rhetoric that the boys have, when they run out here and they try to see black women try to separate themselves from it. I'm like, nah, the rhetoric that they got from a black woman. You know what I mean? Like, can't y'all hear, for some of you all that know what I'm talking about, can't y'all hear that shit when you hear a black man talking? I get this sense when it comes to Tyrese. Tyrese got a lot of feminine energy. Always up there crying, cry Reese. What are they doing for me? You know what I mean? Like, he just always crying. Then the next video he put up, he want to talk about scripture and God and this, that, and the third. Like, I'm like, y'all look like you have a mental instability. That's what the shit looks like. You know what I mean? Y'all look mentally ill. That you gotta go and revert to some sky daddy. Instead of being like, okay, What are the rules? What are the parameters? What is going on in this society? What is going on in this world? Where do I gotta fucking be? Okay, that's the goal. Okay, and then bust your ass off trying to fucking get there. Like 50 Cent said, get rich or die trying. You know, and I'm not saying that you gotta be rich. You know what I mean? But I mean, real talk, like, and if you really knew the numbers, if you really looked at the state of black women, not all the rhetoric that they go up there with Oprah and everybody. No, if you really looked at the numbers on black women, if you looked at the state of black women, it's like I'm saying be ahead of black. That shit is such an astronomically low bar. And we already know like black men at the collective level are ahead of black women. But the problem is the gap between us and them is not wide enough. You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't lapped them in the race. And so as a result, you know, again, the same old tired stereotypes still persist. And then what the women do, especially those that hate us and the feminists and shit like that are trying to justify women being in charge and running things in female leadership, what they do is they go and they point to a nigga like you. And then they make their Samantha Cooker talking points. You know, and then you know, it's the same old. Then I gotta come out and be like, why do you keep going for the low hanging fruit? Why don't you talk about how you don't want to get with dudes that are ahead of you because you don't like, patriarchy, blah, 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 right? Because they always want to talk about all y'all out there that want to talk about Jesus and dustiness and how it doesn't matter whether you in the position or not. Oh, the women, the black feminists have a fucking field day with your ass. They have a field day with your ass. I mean, they're in the end zone, spiking the ball, you know what I'm saying, doing the Dougie, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, they have a fucking field day when you guys come out talking the shit that you talking about, well, Kevin, I think I'm a high value man because I serve the Most High. They have a fucking field day. And again, I know I'm not crazy because y'all can go and you can listen to the video from Kevin Samuels where he was addressing black men about what is a high value man. And it was embarrassing the number of men that called in that show talking all the shit that they were talking about what they thought a high value man was and how it wasn't attached to money. And then Kevin had to come back and actually break the shit down, where he gave his points, his list of points. You know what I mean? You got to be making 6 figures for at least, whatever he say, 5 years. You got to be useful to other people. Like, it was like a whole bunch of different criteria that he threw up there, and that's what he had. I mean, he had to lay a parameter down because y'all were trying to come in with anything. And it's no different than when we're trying to have a beauty contest. You get a woman that looks like Gabourey Sidibe coming in there trying to turn the shit into a spelling bee. I'm like, this is the bikini beauty contest, chick. We like everybody in here starts at an 8.5. Are you that? Okay, no, then you ain't gonna be in the contest. Plain and simple. Stop trying to squeeze your big ass in here. And then you get the other aspects of that, like just like with the women where, they want to be viewed positively. They want to, why are black women always seen as ugly and unattractive and why are but I'm like, y'all always trying to squeeze ugly bitches in the room. Ugly bitches, fat bitches, bitches that don't have any femininity, masculine bitches that don't want to wear heels, don't want to wear makeup, don't want to put on the right clothes. You know what I mean? Y'all be trying to squeeze these women into the room and then you want to push them to the front thinking that you're being diverse. Meanwhile, all the other groups, they put up their best. And then everybody has all these fantasies about other groups that they don't have about you because you keep putting up bullshit. It's like I see these parallels between when black women do shit like that and when these men, that want to make excuses for not being where they need to be, when they present their arguments. I see the same thing. I'm like, it's like motherfuckers are terrified of standards. They're terrified of them. You know, like I said, applies to the women. You know what I mean? Like when Kevin used to come with whether you agree and whatever, I'm saying when he used to come in with his dress sizes, which, you know, like I said, you know, some of it was, 124 pounds. Please, what's it? Kathy Freeman Drayton, she goes from anywhere from 180 pounds to 205 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And, her weight fluctuates, but, please, ain't no dude trying to kick her out of their bed, man. You know what I mean? Like, again, a chick with muscle, a chick with some thick thighs, all the stuff that brothers said that they like, with a fat ass and everything, she's going to be at least 150, 160 pounds. Even if she's like, especially if she's 5'4", 5'5", and she got an ass and she got some thighs, 150 pounds, 160 pounds. So Kevin's, 120 foot, that was way off. That was way off. Yeah, that's the standard if you talking about white bitches with no ass and no thighs. Yeah, you gonna get 125 pounds. That's the standard over there. But in the BC, and motherfuckers running around talking about, Edwina Wedgelaw, or they talking about Buffy the Body, or they talking about, Kathy Freeman Drayton, or they talking about who's another thick ass, shapely model. I just said it the other day, and I'm going blank, in terms of, Bria Miles. Bria Miles ain't, look, I'll pull it up right now. Bria Miles ain't no damn 125 pounds. What is Bria Miles? Bria Miles. Let's see if they got her weight on here. Probably not. Where's she at? What is that? Hold on. What is her ethnicity? Are you kidding me? Here it says she's 132 pounds. I don't know what her height is. Hold on, let me see. That shit ain't accurate to me. Not with all that ass. But anyway, I'm saying, you got to give some goddamn wiggle room on the shit. When it comes to, these sort of, this sort of criteria. But at the same time, there still is a standard. And when it comes to the money and the finances, we fail. Again, going back to what Amos Wilson said and his statement. And I see it, more than ever. And I understand the economy's bad, the shit is all fucked up. I get it. You know what I mean? But you can still be, like, in other words, it's like there was a point in my time when I was 16, I was skinny. But I knew that the standard was to be built and have muscles. You know what I mean? And when I got muscles, obviously it's easier for me to say what the standard is. But my point is that it doesn't matter that you're not there yet. You gotta maintain the standard. Once you throw the standard out, you're no different than all the women on the left and the LGBTQ and there's more than one gender and all this. What's the difference between a transformer and a heteronormative cisgendered woman? Nothing. You know what I mean? Like that's the space that you enter when you're talking the shit that you're talking, when you don't want to create a standard for money. Okay? When it comes to raising a family, you getting roof over the head, toys for the kids, decent lifestyle, all these sort of stuff. And the crazy thing is if you don't do that, if you're so busy trying to fight that, I'm telling you, like that whole situation, where your kids don't respect you because they recognize that their money and the resources comes from the woman, that's not gonna be a pretty place for you to be in. When you finally are too old to actually go out here and work and change that reality. Because there will be a time in your life where you will not have the chance to go back and prove yourself. Your time will be up. And a lot of you dudes are not getting it. You're so busy making excuses, you're completely ignoring that there will be a day where you are not going to be able to go back and correct it. And that will be your reputation. Your reputation will be, oh, that nigga, oh yeah, he ain't never do nothing. You know what I mean? This is the same thing that goes on, with Captain Solo and his father. Yeah, his mother, she cheated and went and had a baby by another nigga and everything, and he was upset and he shut down. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, the man moved in with his sisters, slept on a futon, and despite the fact that he was working at General Motors, and never bought a home. And then when Captain Solo, found himself being homeless, like he didn't even have a place for his son to stay. And that is Captain Solo's memory of his father. That's his memory. It's fucked up. So, like I said, you don't want to, it's not some place that you want to be. Trust me. It's not a place that you want to be, that you want to end up at. You make all the excuses now. Oh yeah, I get it. You just want some pussy. You just want a little bit of ass, here and there. I'm fucking up your pussy game. I get it. But if you think that you're gonna get and here's the thing, you can definitely get the ass. You can be broke as fuck and still get the ass. I'm not saying that you can't get it, but if you think that you're gonna get the ass and be respected, you got another thought coming. And y'all sit up here and you'll try to act like, oh man, we don't care about that. I call bullshit. That's cap. You don't care about that. Again, why is it so important that you need to lead then? If you being in the position to effectively lead, why is it so important for you to be in the position? And notice what I said, effectively lead. You can talk about, oh man, I can lead and not be ahead of her. Your leadership is ineffective. Not to mention how much it won't be valued. I had a brother write a comment talking about, black women, you saying they don't value our protection. I'm like, if you're not in the proper financial position, your protection is equivalent of that of a bodyguard. You ain't calling no shots from that position. And again, I do not understand what brothers don't understand about the fact that if you do not if you can't comprehend the dynamics between you and your woman, how in the hell are you supposed to understand the dynamics between you and any other group of men that wouldn't trade places with you, on their worst day? They wouldn't trade places with you. That's how bad our reputation is. That's why you see the white boys in the comment section every time there's some white girl that takes interest in a black man on TikTok and everything. The white guys lose it. They're in the comment section bitter as fuck. You're gonna be a single mom. They go in there, going off on that shit. And again, if white supremacy is kicking our ass, that's one thing. But to sit there and act like that's not the standard. The standard isn't to be a father in the home, raising the family and everything else. Talking about what you got to deal with, with the white man and the racism and job discrimination and all the historical events that took place prior to us getting to this point, and saying you're pissed off and you're mad all that shit happened and went down and we need to do something to correct it, right? I'm with you 100%. But the problem I have, and even if you say, hey, I don't know what to do about it. I don't have a problem with that either. What I do have a problem with is I have a problem with the way that you all will drop anchor in the bullshit. and do the same thing, as, that some delusional person. Like, in other words, I feel like black men are turning into, like these black men that I'm talking to for the purposes of this video, turning into the people on American Idol who can't sing and don't know that they can't sing. You know what I mean? Y'all motherfuckers go up there and Simon Cowell's up there and y'all just up there. And I will always love you. Like, that's y'all. That's y'all. That's literally y'all. It's like, yo, that boy can't sing. He don't know that he can't sing. He really thinks he sounds good. Or you're like the chick that out there, with wearing the leopard print dress with the fupa, you know what I mean, the fat upper pussy area, in her dress, stomach spilling out. It looked nasty, looking like Sexy Red. Y'all seen this shit with Sexy Red up on the stage, you know what I mean, with her little booty shorts, and she's looking like she's 3 months pregnant, and she's up there just nasty. But in her mind, she must be up there like, I'm sexy while my stomach is fucking bulging out. Like, I look good. And I mean, the most unshapely legs, and that's just not a good image to have in my mind. You know what I'm saying? But apparently she thought she looked good. She thought she looked good. Y'all like that. Y'all like the fucking you're like Otis. You know what I mean? The black man that doesn't recognize that he's too old. He's in the club with a jerry curl. You know what I mean? He's got missing teeth and a gold chain, and his he got nigger naps, climbing out the top of his 1970s shirt, and he's up there. Let me show you something here. You know what I mean? And everybody's looking at him and clowning him. You know what I mean? But he thinks he look good. He think he fly. He thinks he thinks it's still 1974. That is how a lot of y'all come off, and you don't realize it when we get to talking about money and finances. Again, like I said, I would give more respect, and I'm so glad that Preach is no longer there anymore. On Abba and Preach, because remember when he went up there and had that conversation with Kevin Samuel? Again, when he got married, his wife was making more money than him. His white wife, Preach's white wife, was making more money than him. You know what I mean? And again, he got, not only did he get quiet, because I got the video. You can go in my archive and you can pull up the video, not the video itself, but me commenting on the video when it went down. He walked out. He let Abba take over. He got up and left the room. You know what I mean? Yeah, because when you know what the deal is, that it eats at you. You feel some type of way. But I gotta respect the fact that you feel some type of way, and he had sense enough to get up and walk away from the shit. You know what I mean? Instead of sitting there and talking about, oh, this doesn't matter, and that doesn't matter, and this doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because what you're saying when you're saying all that, you might as well be saying that, us being at the bottom doesn't matter, and white supremacy doesn't matter, and us not being able to counter white supremacy doesn't matter, right? And us never owning, operating, and controlling everything doesn't matter. And not being respected by other groups of men doesn't matter. And when I mean not being respected, we already know that the interactions between us and any other group of men is always hostile. The interactions between all groups of men is hostile. But there's certain areas where minimally they'll be like, they have my respect. They have my respect. You know what I mean? It's like when you see soldiers in combat and at war. I've heard some dickhead Marines and soldiers talk crazy about the Mujahideen and the Taliban and Al Qaeda and all of the type of shit and ISIS and everything else like that. And I've seen other Marines, they're like, Nah, man, them motherfuckers, they some warriors. Fuck that. You know what I mean? We were trying to kill them and they were trying to kill us. They talking about the, guys where they, the clever shit that they would do where they realized that the soldiers would stack up on the doors before they would breach and shit. They started putting the IEDs in the doors. In the walls on either side of the door and blowing up the door so that it would basically blow out the back of the Marines while they were stacked up on doors. So they had to come up with different tactics, right? They weren't just static. They were adapting to, what they were observing, from, their occupiers, so to speak. And for that, again, one Marine in particular, he was like, nah, that motherfuckers have my respect. We came to we're in their country. We're in their backyard. And they're fighting to get us the fuck out of there the same way that we would fight to get them the fuck out of ours. But if you're not that tight, then no, you're not going to get that respect. And again, I don't know how it is that black men, like, they separate the shit out and they detach themselves from what they already know. This niggas got all type of street codes, when it comes to certain shit. And it comes to, no, let them shoot the fair one. And if they don't shoot the fair one, if one of the guys bitches up, balls up, goes in the other direction and everything, then, there's no respect. Even my own mother said that shit. My mother was like, when it comes to girls, girls are vindictive and, they will be enemies forever. But when it comes to the boys, she was like, the boys, they will fight. And when that fight is over, next thing you know, they're the best of friends again. And I'm saying not always, but she was just like, that's the type of shit that she'll see. And then you can think of like the story of Sleepy Hollow and Chef G. The Sleepy Hollow and his crew, they were trying to jump Chef G. He told the story on Vlad, I think it was. And Chef G stood his ground, and Sleepy Hollow was like, nah. After that, I was like, yo, no. He's like, this dude's a real one, 10 toes down, blah, 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 blah. But if you out here trying to just trying to live off of a woman and shit, nah, ain't nobody gonna have no fucking respect for you. It's like the service calls that even Cap would tell me about, with some of the maintenance guys, because, he had, he was a tradesman and shit like that. He was talking to some of the trades guy, and he's like, there's a lot of times where the guys, they would have a service call to turn off the power. And it would be a woman, and she would have a kid or kids. And, it would be like turn off the water or turn off the heater or, turn off the power, whatever it was. And a lot of times those guys, they would delay it for a couple of days. Like, hey, man, it's the middle of winter. Like, I ain't cutting the heat off. Like, they would lose the paperwork. But, Cap also informed me that there was occasions where guys would go into places and there would be a dude there. And, the woman's there and she got the kids and everything. And he's like, nah, fuck that. Their power is getting fucking cut the fuck off. You know what I mean? Because there should be no reason why you got this dude there and he's not doing anything. He's like, nah, fuck that. You over here giving him pussy? Nah, fuck that. The power is getting cut off. Now, I know some people might be like, oh, he should have done the same thing. But you can understand why he would say, fuck that. The power is getting cut off. But again, I know I'm making this video longer than it needs to be, but I just need to drive the point home, man. I mean, we keep coming back to this. And I understand it's a new wave of uneducated, uninformed, hasn't been in these conversations type of black men. But like Amos Wilson said, if we don't have I don't even know if I have it on this. I don't know if I have it on this phone. That picture, the quote. I don't think I have it on here. But anyway, if we don't start focusing on the money, and wealth, as black men, what I mean, like we're done. We're done. I don't know why it's like pulling teeth with us. It's like, I mean, seriously, it's like pulling teeth with us. I mean, we fight against the idea of there being any sort of financial standard or even having real discussions about money and resources. I mean, we are money adverse when it comes to having these conversations. So what are you saying? That if I don't have any money, I don't have any value? Why are you trying to be valued off of the strength of nothing? It's like you're trying to be a woman. And I've talked about this before, about the betrayal that some of these young men, feel when they've been raised in these all female environments, where women have intrinsic value and they tell themselves a bunch of bullshit, and the boy picks up on that bullshit, and then he thinks he can go out into the world and apply that, to society. And it's like, no, you're a man. You will never be valued intrinsically. You don't have any tits. You're not beautiful. I know that the ugly girls are going to jump up and be like, well, what if you're a black woman and you're not beautiful? Because we know what the answer to that is. I mean, hell, I mean, there's whole commentaries on YouTube about how invisible women become, as they get older. I mean, they're just invisible. People don't look at them. Men don't want to start relating. They go from getting every man's attention, possibly going out here having an OnlyFans and everything else, men throwing money and everything. And then they get to a point where they get to a certain age and men are no longer trying to pursue romantic relationships with these women because they're too old. You know what I mean? So, again, just the difference is that, men, lack of value starts on the front end, and then if they establish themselves, right, they don't deal with it as much on the back end. But when it comes to women, they have intrinsic value on the front end, but then on the back end, they have significantly less value. It is what it is. We have our time here on this planet, right? And, trying to ensure one's genetic survival is the goal. Reproducing is the goal. After that, Mother Nature don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. And a part of ensuring one's genetic survival, again, through the tribalism and group economics, right, is to, ensure that your children are not subject to the authority or the rule or the domination by any other group. And how you do that is you set things up so that they actually have something and possess and control something and can maintain the control and dominance, of, those said, a set of resources. That's how it works. But black people running around acting like, with normalcy bias, acting like, they couldn't just wake up one day and decide, I think we're just going to have slavery again. Wake up and decide, I think we should just purge them and eradicate them off of the face of the planet because we just don't want to deal with them anymore. They've become too much of a burden. And yet we have not done anything to organize and prevent that from happening. Meanwhile, Jewish people over there, regardless of whatever whether you agree or disagree, they're over there on some never again type shit. Right? That's what they're on. But us, right? White people have already shown their hostility towards us. We out here thinking shit is sweet. We out here thinking we can kumbaya together, with people who have a lineage of evil as white folks do. It's dumb. It's retarded. I know what some are going to say. Let me say it before I end this video. Yeah, but you acted like the way that you beat the system is to be a part of the system. Do you have any alternatives that are going to put us in a situation where we will have a better quality of life than what we got now? I'm open to alternatives. I'm not disagreeing with you. But I don't hear any of y'all talking that shit. What I hear is you all trying to eliminate money as a standard, not coming up with an alternative where we can, acquire things and possess things and control things. That's not what I hear. I don't hear you talking about, we need to try to, negotiate with the African and try to, they got the resources, right? And we got the know-how, right? Like, I don't hear y'all saying nothing like that. Right? We have access to the markets and we have, we're connected to the infrastructure, right? No. Y'all just out here trying to act like money don't mean nothing. And like, why does it mean so much when it's in her hands, but apparently when it's in our hands, it doesn't mean anything? We try to make it not mean anything. A lot of y'all you're not thinking ahead. You're not thinking ahead. But anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.